Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports. We have another special guest. I know my audience be like, everybody's special. You daggone right. Miss LaTonya McDole. She's the head women's basketball coach at my alma mater, Central State University. Welcome to the show, Coach. Let's start off by telling our audience a little bit about yourself. Give them some history from your high school days, sister, all the way up to where you're at right now.
Okay. Well, I attended Trotwood Medicine High School in Trotwood, Ohio. There I became a starter as a freshman. So I earned that right and that privilege. It definitely wasn't given to me. It was due to hard work. Assisted with leading the team we had 4 winning seasons. And we played some competitive teams. We made it to like the Sweet 16, I believe, my senior year. So very, very good experience when it comes to learning from upperclassmen. I played my freshman year with a lot of seniors that were seasoned, poised. They were top-notch players. They all went on to go play collegiate basketball. So, you know, I had the opportunity to learn and pick their brains. I'm a very observant person. I like to kind of just sit on the side, or even in the mix of things, I'm still observing as far as, you know, being quiet and just watching and listening and learning from others. I'm one of those people that believe you don't have to make all mistakes to, you know, learn something. So I always listen to what is being said to my teammates, because that's a big thing. If the coach is speaking to one person, they're speaking to all. So, you know, just took my time, played behind a really good guard. So I had the opportunity, like I said, she was very physical and aggressive. So you always have to keep your hands up.
Hey, Coach, that's the position you play, guard?
In high school, yes, yes.
All right.
I'm a guard, yes. So in high school, I played guard. I had the opportunity to play some point during my tenure in high school. Accumulated many accolades, scored 1,000 points in high school. Earned a 4-year college degree. Well, I'm sorry, earned a 4-year scholarship to the University of Kentucky. There, I want to say I starting midway through the season, but definitely, yes.
You was rolling, sister.
Yes, but you know, that mindset, you know, just being humble, being coachable, helped with those things. You know, I didn't walk through the door and they go, okay, this freshman is good, she can play. You know, I had an All-American on the wing on the right and an All-American on the left. And, you know, our point guard that came in, she was a JUCO transfer that transferred in with me in my class, and she was very good. So the team had very high caliber players there. So in practice, I would get beat up in practice, you know, and I'm just, you know, getting fussed at, like, can you play defense? I'm like, I can play defense, but I don't understand what she's doing to me. It's something that's happening on this walk-in under the basket that's allowing her to cut and get open. So, you know, once again, just being coachable and listening. So our coach's her motto was, and her big thing was, if you want to play, you must be able to play defense. So I'm like, okay, you know, and then also what helps is being able to know the plays from multiple positions, even if you're not in the post, you know, because in college, I was also a guard. I was never a post player. And I know my height is a dead giveaway that, you know, I'm a post player. You know, sometimes when I'm recruiting.
How tall are you, Coach?
I'm 6'1" now.
All right.
I'm like 6'1", 6'2". Yeah.
All right.
And so, you know, a lot of people look at me and just assume I'm a post player. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm a guard. And they're like, what? I'm like,
you got
yes,
some handles.
I'm a guard.
I got some handles, baby.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And so, you know, just listen, you know, and I was like, okay, so I have to be able to play defense. I have to be able to run her offense, and I have to be able to make a fundamental pass, whether it's a chest pass, overhead pass, or a bounce pass. Got it, coach. You know, and I had my opportunities. I would play, you know, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. And it was strictly to relieve our 3. And I wasn't necessarily content, but I understood the process. I understood there's players ahead of me. You know, I kind of have to wait my time, but I'm never going to not practice hard or play hard, whether it is 2 minutes. So eventually I earned a starting spot. You know, I stayed in the game too long. And I looked and I was like, oh man, I've been in the court 6 minutes, okay. And I saw the young lady that was coming back in the game, and I'm like, okay. And she was like, I'm not getting you. And I'm like, what? Wait, time out, what's going on? So I kind of felt like it was coming because I was doing well. Coach's other motto was when you are in the game and if you're not a starter, you should either maintain what's going on or increase what's going on the court, be an additional asset that, takes the team to another level, whether it's with your hustle plays. Like I said, eventually starting. The fans at Kentucky, they are wonderful. They will definitely remind me after a game if I didn't run into the stands because that was my thing. I didn't realize it was my thing, but they had become accustomed to, seeing a hustle play where I end on a fan or something like that. And so, I was like, oh, okay, I'll try to do it next time, next home game, I'll definitely try to run in the stands for you. But it was just a wonderful experience. I continued to grow. I went through the process of adjusting my shot, and I was like, well, my shot is pretty good, and I was told like, it's going to get tipped, and it happened. And I was like, I'm ready, let's go. I'm ready to listen to what you have to say. So, yes, I was good. I had, the fundamentals, and I can play flashy if need be, but it doesn't come out. And if it does come out, it's just because it was a natural reaction to something. So great run at UK. I ended up
the accolades you got there, because when I read your bio, I was like,
yes.
All right.
Okay, so yes, so I'm going into it, segueing into it. So the accolades you're talking about. When I graduated, I was one of, I want to say maybe 12 at the time that had charted 1,000 plus points, 600 plus rebounds, and 200 plus steals. I do believe I've moved down. I'm not for sure where I'm at currently, but I do know I moved down within like the last 3 to 4 years because they have some phenomenal athletes there now, that are rolling.
Everything has changed now, period.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, even the style of play is different, Right. We run a lot of sets at Central, but a lot of our stuff is motion. And so, if you have a guard that ends up in the 4 spot, when the point guard calls out the play, it'll still run. You don't have to wait for the 1 to run over here, the 2 to run, to get to your spot per se, which was, what I was accustomed of growing up through, like, hey, the 2 and the 3, you have to start here. So, and we had flexibility in high school and college within our play sets. But when you say that the game has changed, it has become a faster game, so everything is emotion unless you want a quick hit for something.
I'm cutting you off on this because I asked Coach this also, because last night we had a guest on and I didn't realize this. I wasn't doing the interview. I was on the sideline just listening, and the coach said there's no more post play per se that with your back to the basket. Nowadays everybody's facing up and they shooting jump shots and what have you. Is that the same thing with the women's play?
Absolutely. You'll find where the 4, she might be 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", and she's stepping out, hitting the 3, mid-range 15 to 17 footer. Or, she could come off of a pick with enough ball handling skills and to make the proper pass. So I would definitely agree that there is no more, with your back to the basket. Yes, you would like it because it's a higher percentage shot. And like we currently right now at Central, we have a 6'5" kid. So we encourage her to step out and shoot because she's capable of knocking it down. But she does prefer her back to the basket, but she can play facing the basket as well. So, like our 4-man currently, she steps out. Everything she does on a pick and roll per se is a pick and pop because she can knock down the shot. She can shoot the mid range. In essence, she's a big guard. So definitely that has changed. You see it in the women's side. If you look at the Division I schools, those girls are going.
I'm cutting you off again, Coach. There's just two things I want you to go, and then we're gonna go back to what you just was talking about. Tell them about once you graduated, what you did.
Okay. When I graduated from UK, I eventually, let's back up. I had to stay for a semester because I had some classes that was overlapping, not due to failing anything, So once I did graduate, I ended up, before I graduated, I did my internship at a high school in Kentucky. And I ended up, walking in and they was like, hey, you're one of the coaches. And I was like, huh? Like, I'm just here for my internship, but my supervisor was like, there's no way we can have, a Wildcat here and you don't do anything with the basketball team. So had the opportunity to assist at Takes Creek High School in Lexington, Kentucky. And we had a wonderful run, the ladies, I love them. They grew on me, so I managed to juggle working, going to school, and coaching at the same time. So once I graduated, I still continued to help out at the high school, and I just decided to live there in Lexington. So I didn't return home just yet. And I would say like a year and a half, 2 years after I graduated, I had the opportunity to go play overseas in Portugal. And, I decided to go. I had to think about it because, how many people do you know from your neighborhood that has the opportunity to live in another country, let alone also play a sport that they love? So it took me some time because I was walking away from a lot of things that I loved, not necessarily because I was comfortable and didn't want to grow and elevate. It was just, I enjoyed what I was doing. So had the opportunity to go play overseas in Portugal. There, I had a really good year at Olivais. It's in Coimbra. Phenomenal program. The fans are wonderful. Went over there, I have to tell you, I did go over there out of shape because I didn't have any intentions on playing anymore. The opportunity just kind of presented itself out of the blue. So I took the time to get in shape. And like I said before, I'm not a flashy player, but I can. So they're accustomed of Americans coming over there, doing all this fancy stuff. And I'm like, no, I need you to shoot. Like, you want to see me score 50 points, but I need you to shoot because my teammates were really good. So I was like, no, like, you shoot, I'll pass it back to them. So at one point we had about 5 or 6 people averaging double figures. Myself and the other American would leading the team between like 24, 25 points a game. I did have a game where I scored 46 points, I believe.
Go, girl, go!
Yeah, I woke up though, Mr. Nelson, I just woke up that day and I was like, I was going through the house that morning like, oh man, I'm like, I'm trying to score 50 points today and I'm gonna try to dunk today. And my roommate was like, what? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, pass it to me, give me some. And in the warm up, I'm like, man, everything is falling in. So fell shy, but I did score 46 and I did try to dunk. I got fouled. But, played really well. Was MVP of the All-Star game. So like I said, I had a great run there. Returned home where I started helping out. I started doing like individual instruction type stuff, just my way to give back to the community. Not necessarily, even thinking about coaching just yet, so I just wanted to find a way to give back because I had great AAU coaches growing up. I had a great junior high coach.
Run that down as, in most of my interviews, especially with my high school kids, and now I'm doing it with my coaches, give the propers to the people who made you who you are now. From the biddy, let them know you appreciate them right now on this show.
Absolutely. Well, my junior high coach was Mr. Andrews. He's a Central State alum. So throughout that tenure, we would attend a lot of the women's games and it was standing room only, during those games. So I'm like, man, I got to make it to this level, High school coach was Vincent Buff Taylor. He's also alum, so he would take us to games, to high school. So I've been going to Central State games since I was junior high. So
go, girl, go.
So I like to say I'm like an honorary alumni,
Yeah.
Even though everybody's like, no, coach, you're not,
No, coach, you are. I'm telling you, you are.
I've been coming up here for a while, So I actually met Coach Sheba Harris is who I replaced. I met her at a open gym session. And I have to back up. There's a great story behind how I met her. We were both still in school and I received a call and they were like, man, it's this girl, it's some Central State ladies up here that's hooping, they're really, really good. And this one is really, really good, and I'm like, what? Nah, not in our gym, not my gym, And everybody from the local area, we call it our gym because that's where we grew up playing at Baumberg Recreation Center. So I was like, find out she's gonna come next Wednesday, and I'll, try to sneak home, And it just so happens it works out that they find out she's coming, and I come, and we meet on the court, and it's like, hey, I'm Tanya, hey, I'm Sheba. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, I heard about you, and I ended up checking her. It didn't work. It wasn't planned that I checked her, but it just, worked out. And we battled. To this day, we still battle. We're probably two of the most competitive people you'll meet. If she bends down to tie her shoe, I'm trying to tie my shoe faster. I took up golf because I'm like, Coach, what you doing? Oh, I'm playing golf. Golf? Wait a minute, So she's very competitive, a great athlete overall. And just through that relationship of, meeting and playing. And after we graduated, she stayed here, obviously, because she was coaching. So, we would see each other on Wednesdays. And it just kind of, was something general, like, hey, I can come to a practice, let me know, and I'll go up and down with the ladies. Nothing was planned for me to coach. We had never had that discussion. That was never my intent. It was just solely to just come play basketball an additional day during the week. So I gradually started receiving, responsibilities, when I would say, hey, coach, maybe if they did something like this, or if they defend me like this, or, things of that nature, or respond to how I'm defending them this way. And she was like, well, you tell them. And I was like, huh? I was like, okay. So she kind of pushed me out my comfort zone when it came to the coaching piece at the collegiate level. So, each year, another responsibility, fell on my plate, and I just accepted it. So here I am now. I've always
Hey, Coach,
been.
how much influence or mentorship do you feel Coach Sheba had on you? It seems like a lot. Run that down to me.
I would definitely say a lot. I mean, she's a very intelligent woman. She knows the game of basketball. So sometimes she'll give you a task, and you're like, Coach, so what should I say when I call the kid? Figure it out. And I was like, what? And she'll give me like key points to cover. And I was like, okay. So she had a great influence on who I am as a coach now, simply because she would present those, those tasks and those challenges. And, like, I know I want you to go out, I want you to do research, I want you to learn on your own, because when someone researches information, you retain it, even though it's a lot easier to receive it, but you also retain it once you do your own research, So very, very good experiences with her. We've had some great runs while we were there. We work well together, definitely work well together. It was one of those relationships where you could trust me if you had to step out of practice, you could trust me and the other assistants to get the job done while you were gone. And just that loyalty piece, understanding, hey, this lady has given me an opportunity. So you always want to do your best job for someone that has given you an opportunity. So I began to assist at Central State in the capacity of a volunteer coach. So, I would leave my full-time job and go up to Central State to assist in the evenings with practices and things of that nature. So very appreciative. I call her now, and I joke with her. I'm like, Coach, I don't know if you can do this right now, just because of our previous conversation, of things you can say, can do, things of that nature. And, and I still call for pointers. I'm not one of those coaches that is a firm believer that I have all the answers. I still call her. I can still call my former coach from UK. So I just believe you don't have all the answers, and it's always someone does things differently to get the same job done. So I'm always game to learn. I just got off a webinar today. So so that is my run. And then I was appointed the interim coach midway through the 17-18 season. Had no idea that was going to happen. Just was up there because I love it. I love it. I still knew the ladies, so it wasn't, a hard transition, because I actually was away from the program the 16-17 season. So I was, very humbled and honored that they even called me to come up and help the other coach that was there. So didn't realize that was going to happen, and it happened. So I took that task, and and I'm running with it now, trying to leave my mark and do the best that I can.
All right. let's talk about your first season and your team. Once you got hold of the reins, I'm riding, baby.
Right. You know, I'm one of those people that I don't believe you don't have to reinvent something, you know, so like you can enhance it and tweak it and twerk it and things of that nature, but you don't necessarily have to reinvent. So I didn't come in as the head coach and go, all right, I'm about to change all of this, you know. It was kind of the sense to keep it going the way it was going. Yes, I do things differently just because I'm a different person. It's not because I want to do it differently. And it's like, no, this is my mark, this is my stamp. But you just have to adjust to the caliber of kids that you continue to get and recruit. So, and you just have to make adjustments. You know, you might have a crew where you can fuss at them and they respond. You might have a crew where they don't respond and you have to talk and you have to, you know, figure out what motivates them, what pushes them, what buttons to push to get the best out of them. So, in essence, those things have changed, but you know, it's basketball, so it's not much that has changed when it comes to, you know, basketball.
You talked about motion offense and what have you. I was going to ask you, what's your style of play? When I talked to the men's head coach, and he was talking about they get up and down the court real fast, and they run the motion offense and so forth. Talk about what style of play do you have your girls playing?
Yes, we play pretty fast. We go up and down. As you mentioned, like the men's coach, we do a lot of motion sets. So we like to push the ball up. You know, we have a couple drills that we work on where you get the ball up the court in 3 passes. You know, just so you can catch your defense in a disadvantaged situation. Um, we do have some sets where we're looking for a shot from a particular person, or we're looking to dish it down to our post. So we like to play fast, and that's my goal, is to continue to play fast, continue to find ladies that can play fast and, you know, have playmaking skills as well, because it also is based upon, you know, your talent. It's
Yes.
based upon your, you know, your team. So, you know, you can't make a team that is a little slower play fast. You know, you can push them to, you know, give them the concepts of getting up and down the
You got
court.
to work with what you got and
Yes,
design your strategy around the talent that you have.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, currently we have some ladies that are very, very fast. You know, they can get up and down the court, you know, in a couple of seconds. And so it's a great opportunity to kind of continue to just say, hey, go, you know, if you have to set up a play, set up a play. You know, I had a really good point guard. She's graduating this year, to Kyra Gilbert. So a lot of times how she's feeling, she'll call the play, you know. So it also depends on your point guard. Can you trust your point guard? Your point guard is an extension of the coaching staff. So sometimes I let her, you know, call the plays, you know. And sometimes you find yourself in situations where they can't hear you because the crowd is really loud. So you have to trust that, you know, they can get it together and echo.
What kind of crowds are you getting there at Central State? I'm interested.
We don't have the crowd that, you know, the women's program used to have. Hopefully we can restore that. But we do have a nice crowd. We do get a nice crowd. You know, we don't have the standing room only situation, you know, just yet. But that is definitely a goal.
I must tell you, even before this program anywhere near ends, you have a very pleasing personality, and
thank you.
It just seems like I can't imagine your team wanting a better coach or a different coach or not listening to you.
Yes.
You're very
no, go ahead.
To me.
Yes, thank you. We have this team has a lot of personality. So, you know, a lot of the little dance things and challenges. So you might catch me walk through, you might catch me busted one of their moves, not the whole dance, you know. But that's just to kind of give them something different, you know, especially when I feel like practice is stagnated. The personality of our team is very interesting, you know. I wouldn't trade those ladies.
Well, it's over now behind this virus. What was your record this year?
I think I need to look. I want to say it was 14.
Were you satisfied with the play that your girls put out for you?
Satisfied with their efforts, absolutely. We had some speed bumps throughout the season. Um, so we, like we played through some of our adversity. Definitely appreciated the way they responded. They're not quitters, so they responded. Some ladies, we had a freshman in Lorraine Torre that stepped up, ended up giving us quality minutes, whether it was offensively or defensively. So, some freshmen had the opportunity to play. And, I'm one of those people that I'm a believer that you don't have to wait. If you're a freshman and you have a junior and a sophomore and a senior ahead of you, if you're outworking them, it's going to show, it's going to show. And so there's your opportunity, so she had an opportunity early on in the season. She took it, she ran with it. At first she wasn't playing, and she understood why she wasn't playing. And, and she's a hard worker, so you don't never have to question if she's going to come in practice and take a practice off. So it was just a matter of being patient with her, and continue to give her positive affirmation, and encouragement that, you can play at this level. You can play within our conference. You have to have the confidence in yourself. So we have great expectations for her moving forward because, we're blessed to have her for 3 more years. So I predict she'll be a really tough player when she graduates. She's tough now.
Has this virus affected your program, yourself, and your players?
I would say we don't get the opportunity to see each other, interact with each other. We have an open door policy. Our athletic director, Tara Owens, is great. So when you come down that athletic hallway, you might catch a women's basketball player in her office or talking to her assistant, or, they're in the compliance office, or they're even talking to Nick. So, we just have a great relationship, within the athletic department. So, I might catch a football player, and I'm talking to them for, a couple minutes. So I definitely think we all are missing that aspect of seeing each other daily, because outside of your family, you spend the most time with your team, and you spend the most time with, your work family. So it definitely has affected us as far as having the opportunity to bounce off each other, come tell a joke. You might have somebody walk past the door and they might say something to keep moving,
How important is it, as I asked my high school coaches, and you partially answered this, how important is it for you to have a good administration behind you and have a good AD behind you?
Yes, it's very important. It makes the job not easier, but it definitely gives you the feel that you can make a mistake and have the opportunity to learn from it. If you have a question, you can go ask that question and don't feel like, you're going to get looked down upon because you're asking the question. I stay in everybody's office. I'm like, hey, question, what's your thoughts? And I really know the answer, but I just want to make sure, before I tell a student athlete or a potential student athlete anything, whether it's via email, phone. So it's very important, just to have that encouragement, just to have that support.
Now I'm getting ready to go fast forward on you.
Okay, let's go.
Tell me this about recruiting. How difficult is it for you to recruit good athletes that have good academics? Because Cascade Sports is home of the student athlete, and we, I tell you about my 0.7. We don't
Right.
we don't want no athletes like that, because coaches can't keep their job giving scholarships like that. How important is it for you to get the right athlete, and how hard is it for you to get the athlete with the good grades and that you think can help your program win?
Yes. Academics is very, very important. Once you enter your freshman year of high school, you should start registering for the eligibility center, because that'll kind of give you the pathway to what you need to take as far as academically at the high school level, as well as like the electives and everything. It'll also break down where your GPA needs to be, so you can make sure you're on track to meet the requirements for Division II or Division I. So it starts your freshman year. most important year of high school is your freshman year. So a lot of people sometimes, regroup, and it's like, I had this great year, I had this one year and I'm not a qualifier. Why? Or I'm a partial qualifier. And sometimes it's because that freshman year was a hiccup for them and they had to, recover. So it's not difficult to recruit a kid that has the academics and the talent nowadays, because you have a lot of coaches, and you have like the scouting services that are getting involved with the young kids. So they are aware of those requirements. So it's just a matter of, you finding that student athlete that meets your style of play, that complements you, and how well will they adjust to the collegiate level, as well as are they a great teammate, So a lot of things, you look at a lot of things, like on the webinar I was on, one lady had said, if she's at a game and she's recruiting and she sees that you look in the stands and you're listening to fans or your parents or whoever it is, you're getting tips from them, she'll stop recruiting you, because obviously you don't respect the coach's staff, you don't respect the program or believe in what, they're wanting to do. And so, it's a little different because you're dealing with a different caliber, I guess you could say, of a student athlete. Like I said, I was one of those student athletes that was like, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do that. Like, yes, I might have some questions, but I'm just going to do what you said because you're the coach, So you kind of want to, make sure you're getting kids that understand that this is a team effort. Yes, you'll have your opportunities to score, you have your opportunities to pass, and things of that nature. But what kind of teammate are you going to be at the end of the day? What kind of student athlete are you going to be? Central State is all about retention. Our motto is retention, retention, retention times 3. So definitely you want to make sure that you're graduating your student athletes. As of right now, we will have graduated all of our seniors within the last 2 years. And then prior to that, our graduating rate for women's basketball was like at 94%. And then for those ladies that needed to come back for a semester or a year, they actually stayed. So they still graduated as well. So I want to say, I think Coach Sheba said it had got up to like maybe 95, 96%. But, our goal definitely when you come through the women's basketball program at Central State is to get your degree. I'm big on getting your degree because you never want the school, wherever you go, or the sport to, per se, use you for your athletic abilities, and then at the end of your tenure at the school, you don't have your degree, or you're nowhere near your degree.
All right, that was my next question, really, because we're gonna wrap up. But a lot of our community and the African American community around the country, my era in the '60s, HBCUs were prevalent. Going to an HBCU was something. You want to go to Howard, you want to go to Morgan, you want to go to Tennessee, you want to, but a lot of our kids now don't know about HBCUs. They don't understand the nurturing. Dr. Vivian Lewis, who was over the physical education department when I was there, I can't give her enough credit for straightening me out in a motherly way.
Absolutely.
Miss Simons was my dance and gym teacher. And I'm saying, it was like mom getting you together. When you needed a spanking, you got a spanking. When you needed a loving, you got loving. When you had a problem, they were there. And those big universities just don't do that.
Yes.
What would you say to a prospective high school athlete about coming to your program?
I would definitely say we have the family environment. Yes, we have our bumps and hiccups and things of that nature, but you work through those things. You're gonna find, not just within the women's basketball program, but the whole athletic department, you can lean on them, because maybe we don't have that rapport where, you're at your most comfortable and vulnerable spot to confide all the way in me. I don't take it personal if you go to the athletic director or the compliance director, as long as you have someone on campus. It could be your advisor, that you're leaning on to disclose and discuss those things that you're saying, and get the help that you need if you need help. I would definitely say at Central State currently, the whole school does a great job of wrapping their arms around our student body.
That's what I'm talking about,
yeah.
not just the athletic.
Yes.
See, I didn't even have to tell her that. She's there, she knows the whole school. You don't have to fit in because you in. Everybody looks like you. They have the similar backgrounds, and it's a gel.
Yes, absolutely. It's a wonderful environment. I was definitely in a great situation where I experienced that at the collegiate level. Our whole coaching staff, from nobody wants to go into the head coach's office, so it wasn't that I disliked my coach or anything like that. It was just, I was like, the head coach? No. So, I leaned on our assistants a lot when it came to, like, what you think about this? But I also would walk into, the head coach's office, Bernadette office, and say, Coach, you got a minute? Now, I knew that minute was going to turn into at least an hour, but that was perfectly fine, just to, get the assistance.
Well, our guest last night, he talked about that relationship with head coach. Because he had a really stellar career from a coaching standpoint with Division I, and he was saying it was very important for you to establish a relationship with that head coach, because at the end of the day, the assistant coach might have recruited you, you might like all of that, but the head coach makes the decision. And what you talked about, hustle and play, and because you're a freshman doesn't mean you can't start or can't play. If you can't play, that head coach is going to tell that assistant coach that you're in love with, they got to go.
Yes.
And so it's really important to have a relationship with your head coach.
Yes, it is. It definitely is. I would definitely say all of the ladies on our team currently are very comfortable with, coming in, talking to me. A lot of times we don't even discuss basketball. We're just shooting the breeze, talking about random stuff going on in the world, their personal lives. I'll share things from my personal life because I want them to understand that I'm human. Yes, I hold this title, but at the end of the day, I'm human. So I do understand that you're going through some things, that it's finals week is approaching, and it's getting stressful. I understand that. I've been there. So I found myself this year sharing a lot about my collegiate experiences and high school experiences with them, just so they could, say, hey, she's relatable, she's been through these things. I still get on the court sometimes in practice and beat them up in practice, and what's funny is, like, when I get on the court, I'm just on the court, but then they beating me up, and then it's like, I didn't took one too many hits, and this the competitive side of me kick in, and I'm like, okay, hold on, wait a minute, and then they're like, wait a minute, coach, hold on, So, they enjoy that. So, I get on the court. Some of the people within our athletic department still come out and, get on the court sometimes, so they get to see different things. They get to see people in different lights. So I definitely will agree with you and your
Before we wrap up, what I want you to do is tell me, providing that this virus situation is over when the season starts next year, what are you looking forward to?
Definitely looking forward to seeing the ladies face to face. Like, we have our group chat, so we chat, and ladies are calling me, I'm calling them. So we're doing a good job of, finding different ways to communicate with each other. And, this group, like I said, they're very silly. So you can count on somebody to make a joke. You can definitely count on somebody to do something where everybody's like, oh, okay, and we're laughing about it. So once we can return back to campus, that's what I'm most looking forward to, just being able to see them and engage and interact with them face to face.
Give me a prediction on your season so we can get this on camera, see what you're working with, baby girl.
A prediction? We're going to be very competitive.
You a wimp.
We'll be very competitive. The goal is always to win your conference championship and, win out your division, which we're in the West on the SIAC conference, in the SIAC conference. So it's tough, our conference is tough. So our side is tough. So the goal is to be competitive, and we did win 16, 17, we were the Western champs. So the goal is to return back to that status.
Oh, y'all got a little something with you?
Yeah,
your girls got any swag with them?
Oh, they have plenty of that. They have plenty. They definitely have plenty. They can definitely, come out here and, when we dress up, I like to challenge them. So, while we were in conference play this year, I was like, bring a nice outfit. So we went out to eat and they're like, Coach, do we really got to dress up? I'm like, yes, dress up. And then they looked beautiful. They looked beautiful. And I felt like the proud mom, I was like, oh, look at my little babies.
I feel like the proud dad just talking to you. My chest is out. This is what my alma mater is doing. This is the type of personnel they recruiting.
Right, yes.
You need to go to Central State, baby girl.
Absolutely. Come on down here, But yeah, so like I said, just they cover an array of everything. We have a little bit of everything. We have, the musicians, we have, the comedians, we have the serious people that's like, no, it takes a lot to make them laugh, but I mean, they all are silly. So
and you got a beautiful campus.
Yes, our campus is beautiful. We surprise people when they come on visits, where they're on a visit through the admissions department or the athletic department. You always hear like, wow, like I didn't know the campus looked like this. The campus is beautiful. Like we just opened our new residential hall that's apartment style living. We have the new facility, the student center facility. So
I'm mad at y'all tore the breezeway down.
Yes. And look, we work parking during homecoming, so it's always funny to hear like the alum, they're like, how do I get over to the parking lot? And I'm like, well, you just got to walk up past this building. They're like, baby, that building didn't exist when I was here. I'm like, well, you see that group right there? Follow them, and then it's going to open up to, what you're looking for. So, we have great things coming down the pipeline as far as university-wise. So it's definitely a great place to come. Our professors push our student athletes and they push, our students, so, and we have a good relationship, like we have an academic coordinator now. So we as coaches don't necessarily have to reach out to, advisors and professors and things of that nature anymore. But it's a beautiful relationship, everybody's there to cater and serve the student or the, not athlete or the student athlete there. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
All right, and wrapping up, is there anything specific you'd like to say to our audience?
I would definitely like to just say, in regards when it comes to the University of Central State, that it's a great place. We have that nurturing relationship from all departments, department-wise, we all work together, and then when it comes to serving the student, you're going to have the opportunity to pledge if you would like to pledge. You will have the opportunity to excel academically. We have a lot of great internship opportunities in the summers, whether it's in the business department, the engineering department, or the agriculture department. We have great opportunities. So, our students are given the opportunity to work hand in hand with professors, or say for instance, you have an interest in working in psychology, you might find yourself assisting someone if you wanted to. It's all contingent upon you as a student if you want to, reach out to the wellness department. Everybody's just supportive and want the best for each other as far as employee-wise and student-wise. So we have great things coming down the pipeline as far as, we'll have turf this year. Once the football season rolls out, we'll have a track. So the track team can start hosting, home events. So, we have great things. Every year we're adding something new. Last year, millions went into, upgrading our grounds and things of that nature. So Central State is definitely a place that is very a quality education. You're going to have that family feel. You get the HBCU experience. And it's just overall a great experience to graduate from Central State, you know, and the pride and traditions that come with it.
Tell our young players that might want to come to Central State how to contact you.
You can reach me via email, all lowercase letters, LMCDOLE@centralstate.edu. You can reach me via telephone. My office number is 937-376-6143.
Hey, as in closing, this was a really, really good experience for me. And anybody that watches this video that's interested in college sports, especially women's basketball, it's a real treat. And as we say in our closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. You have a good one.
All right, same to you.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.